Good morning. Thank you for plugging in and helping me to welcome the day. Tune in, and if there are any things that you'd like to hear about or tell me about, I'm listening. And it's a little bit dreary this morning, a little chilly. But it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. And I'm about to take my dogs out. There are a couple places where it really looks like Christmas. I have a feeling that as much as I like to go around looking at the stuff and wondering and thinking it's looking a lot like Christmas, I think about when the students used to come by my room and tell me that I was the Grinch because I didn't have a lot of, first of all, because I was at a public school and the rule was you weren't supposed to have Christmas. And it wasn't that I agreed with them or anything, but that was right up my alley. And particularly since a couple students told me that I was the Grinch, and that just gave me license to be a Grinch. And it's like so many things that once somebody anoints you, and it's an anointment that you happen to like, you use the endorsement as an indictment because someone has given you the license to be whatever it is you don't want to do. But this house, there is everything. If you recall some of the houses where the Grinch was going, and there are just all kinds of decorations. And the first thing is that the Detesias, we did not, as I mentioned, I think in another podcast, that it was Advent, which was the looking forward to Christmas. And this Sunday will be the third Sunday in Advent, which means that there is another week before Christmas. And in my house, when the Detesias, we did not put up a Christmas tree until Christmas Eve. And we would have eggnog and tea and coffee and nice soup and everything. And then at about maybe 10:30 or so, we would go to St. Peter Claver or Heart of Mary to go to midnight mass. And then we would come back and the grown-ups would revel and the children they wanted to revel, but because I was lazy, I'd go to bed. I was sleepy, I was tired. And again, it was one of the things that it gave me license to go to bed because I wanted to. And as I look at some of these houses, I wonder how many of these people might, I know this one house, they don't do things the way I did it, but it is just, even my dog stops to look and see what's going on. And it's a wonderful time of the year. But it also means it's the end of the year. And someplace along the way, in the words of Kenny Chesney, don't blink. And I must have blinked a lot of times. And during that time, what did I do? What did I not do? What kinds of things did I add to this world to make it a better place? And I think back to Miss Laura, that's my mother. And I think of the kinds of things that she did before Christmas. Not so much, not with her family, but with the neighbors sometimes. And one of the things that it was one of the stories, I think, that frequently stories go through big families. One of the stories was that when Mama and Papa were having coffee one morning, my mother said to him, Dave, you've got to do something with whoever the boy was, your son. And Papa said, my son? I thought he was your son. And that was, every time I think of that, I think it's the funniest thing I've ever heard. Because with Mama, they were all of her children, because there were Mama's children, there were Papa's children, and there were their children. And Mama never made a difference, because that was just her way. And I look around the neighborhood sometimes, and all of a sudden, when I'm walking, I think of that thing that they say that there's no I in team, and there are so many I's in team. And when you look at the neighbors, there's a team in this neighborhood, because it seems that we all belong together. I think a lot of people don't even know each other's names, probably. But all of the children call me Gigi, because great-grandmother, that's what it means. But Gigi. And one of them listened, or several of them listened, while we were talking about the concept of no I in team. There are at least, depending on the way you look at it, there are at least, the biggest number, 19 I's. But on a lazy day for a person who wants to just chill, when you spread out all of these and smooth them out, and smooth out each one of the letters, and stick them head to foot, you've got one big I, because they all stick together. That's what a team does. And you look at, as you go along, and one of the incidents that had, well, several incidents that come along right now as the season's ending up. And you wonder how with all of these teams, you have some of the controversies that go on. And of course, you're talking big business. When I look at this stadium that was just finished, completed, and if you look at that stadium when they sweep it and go completely around the number of people that you see, the number of merchants that you see selling hot dogs, the number of other kinds of people who are selling things. And back to what my au pair students said, Americans will buy anything. And I wonder, at this time of year, how people can spend so much money for nothing. And so much of this stuff will, the day after Christmas, a lot of it will be broken and thrown away. And I just find myself wondering, how does this happen? And you find it's I guess mine was, I don't miss it because I never had it. And I went so long without it, as I hear all of the bravado that goes into getting and having stuff, and mine and me. What about you? What about them? What about us? What about all of these eyes that could get together? What about the little kids who don't have anything? What about me? About you? What about them? What about they? What about us? Can you see that when all of the eyes get together, the biggest eye of all is we, as a group, as a people, us, as a group, as a people. And as my mother said, it matters not whether you are black, white, grizzly, gray, purple, chartreuse, and polka dots. If we all get together and work together, this is a wonderful world. And honestly and truthfully, we get together and look at us. What do we have at us? U.S. You know what that is? United States. United, we stand. United, we fall. And it doesn't matter, black, white, grizzly, gray, purple with chartreuse polka dots, and all of the things that are going on in different parts of Texas, in different parts of the South, in different parts of the United States, in different parts of the world. When do we stand up and say, hold, enough? Where was it at this time of the coming of Christ that we say, this is for all of us? This is a time when we all should get together and be glad for our help. That as a people, we stand united. And until we get together, as we start falling with the domino effect, you know how dominoes, when one falls, it hits, and as it strikes, all of the dominoes in that row, irrespective of how many they all fall. And therein lies another tale. And again, I think back to Miss Laura, my mother. My mother worked in such a way that I really could justify all of the eyes and team. You look in a classroom, you look at any group of people working, and it's like the first thing is, who'll do it? I will. And then the same group of people, who's gonna do it? Me. And then the same people, as me, a lot of the me's get together, it's we. Same group of eyes get together, we becomes us. Same group of us get together, and we will say, who said they would do this, that, or the other? And a finger points, and it's they did. And another group gets together, and it's who said that was them. Same group of I, we, us, them, there, you. All of these I's become us. We, us, here in America, us is a big word. U-S, United States. And that's what we've got to do now. We've got to look to see how we can get together and stay together. How can we not stand back and point fingers at a family that happens to be in the major seat? What goes on behind closed doors? It is a poor mother, a poor father who does not support his or her son. But it doesn't mean that there was some kind of complicity in some ill doings, if there may have been. But it's the kind of things that you can't separate this stuff out like this. You can't sit back and expect a mother or a father or a grandfather or a grandmother or a sister or a brother to stand back and say, not mine. Because that's not how families work. That's not how teams work. On a lazy day, all of the eyes can get together. And there's one eye in that team. They're all head to foot. And then when it's over, and I'm sure that right now, as Christmas is coming around, it's now what we can do is do it the way my mother did it, where she made all kinds of food because we knew that the teachers were going to be coming out of the woodwork on Christmas Day after midnight mass. But when I married into this family of 4, his mother, his father, and 2 cousins, that was all. That was my husband's family. But in that family, we were going to have Christmas dinner. I was going to make it. And the first thing, as my husband's family was coming in, we're cooking, the first thing my daughter-in-law's family said, no, you don't do it like that. We prepare. In the large family, and everybody in that family brought a major dish, and at the end of and I set the table, and well, we all set the table together, and it was the first time I had ever had that. We had the kind of meal, but only one person had done all the work, my mother, and then I was doing it. And then that family got together. We all did. And at the end, when dinner was over, guess who didn't have to do dishes? Everybody did a little stuff and took a person bag home so that there wasn't all this food left in the refrigerator and stuff. And you had a chance to know that a real family is a team. And whenever my daughter-in-law's family, they are a real team. And there's a quarterback, but the quarterback works with the end, the right, the left, guard. They all work together. We all work together. And at the end of the game, the kitchen is cleaned up by someone, some groups of one, and everybody takes home a little person bag. And everybody works together. That's what teams do. Teams work together. If there's another way to spell team, you spell it U-S, us. You take some of the I's, and it is we. You take some of the I's, it is them. They, y'all, you, we. And it is together. Together we stand. Together we fall. And at this holy time of the year called Advent, as we are waiting for our Maker stand together and we look forward to welcoming this little one. And at this time of the year, we are praying that all of the ugliness, all of the animosity, all of the ill feelings will hide someplace, will hide in some of these really nice decorations where the Grinch has put up all of the stuff. And the Grinch this year is not going to steal Christmas. Instead, the Grinch this year is going to have a really, really holy year. And as we think of us, United States, we will be united. We will be our neighbor, and it won't be you, it won't be them, it'll be us. It'll be you. It'll be we. And we'll lay head to foot all the way down. One big eye. And as things are going along, all of these eyes will stand, and it is we. It is